What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's the word? Sante back in the place to be. Now it look like it's going to storm outside. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully we just keep it cool. But tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things. And we're going to talk about Hulk Hogan. What you going to do, brother? And I know a lot of you guys out there, we ain't giving Hulk Hogan, he's racist and blah, 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 blah. Niggas just be wanting to always have something to say. You know what I'm saying? Then also, we going to talk about Malcolm Jamal Warner, because Malcolm Jamal Warner, legend, you know what I mean? Big time legend. So we talk about those things tonight, you know, and if you want to chime in, you always can. Feel free to chime in. And we're just going to go at it, you know what I mean? Starting off, from the Pontiac WYAC. There's a lot of great things going on and around the city of Pontiac. I'm going to go ahead and hit the share button real quickly. If you would, please, you do the same. One of the things I want to go ahead and shout out to, Oakland Ford is going to be having Oakland Ford will be having a debate forum or debate period this Saturday at the Bowen Center. This Saturday at the Bowen Center, there will be candidate forum debate through at the Bowen Center, Pontiac on Bagley Street from 1 o'clock to 3:30. Be sure to come on out. Be sure to come on out. If you don't know who you want to vote for, now is the time to go on out and, vote for who, find out about these candidates that you that's representing you in the locality of Pontiac, Michigan. Again, come on, Bowen Center at 1 o'clock to 3:30. So you want to get there a little bit earlier, and get your seat. You know what I mean, and find out about these candidates that's going to be representing you through 1 through 6, District 1 through 6, and find out about that. But with that being said, moving on. Oh, yeah. So if there's any extra announcement about that, I will surely bring that up. But also, I just want to bring up a couple of topics before we start. And I think it is a very important topic. I think these forums are I think these forums in the city of Pontiac, I think these forums and debates are very, 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 very important. Because I remember at one point in time, we didn't, around Pontiac, we didn't have opportunities to see who the candidates were, learn about them, hear about them. And I think these forums and I think these situations where or debates or whatever the case may be is very important. It's very, very important because, you can't never know too much about who's representing you, number one. But number two, even if you're not a voter, it's good to still know who's in charge, right? It's still to know who's doing what and what they want to do in the community that you're from. So I think it's very important. I think these forums and then these debates that's been put on by various organizations. One that I've worked with was the Pontiac United with Tracy Hirsch, also in tandem with Oakland Ford. I've worked with them in tandem. And then also I did other stuff with outside entities that did some type of, sponsorship of a forum at the Bowen Center. And I think those types of things is important. You can never know too much about what's going on in your community and who's representing you, and, a lot of times people the only way they're able to really find out who people are is these forums, or having it live streamed or having it televised or whatever the case may be on public access. This is very important. It's very important to have these forums that's going on. There cannot be enough. Again, I'm going to go ahead and double down on that because it was a time that there wasn't forums. There was a time where people weren't. Think about when the city was up under outside leadership, put it like that. And people had no way to find out, and if they did, about who was in leadership. Now you finding out about who's in leadership. I think it's very important. And I know it's been a rumbling or some talk about, if there's been too many forums. There's not. But it's important, in my opinion, what I'm saying? It's very important that everybody get a chance to find out who may be representing them. It's quite important, you know what I mean? So I don't think there's ever enough forums, and really political season really kind of go like that. And we all know how it go. After people are voted in, sometimes it's actually even harder to get into contact with the people that are representing you, are in charge now, sometimes. So now is the time to be able to go ahead and make sure that you, participate. And I never was a big voting guy, and I'm still really, really not. But I'm big for letting people, I'm big for information, knowledge. You know what I mean? I'm not withholding information or knowledge of who people are. So anytime that a public official or anybody that has the ambition to be a public official wants to get in front of the citizens of Pontiac, the citizens of Michigan, however many times it is, it should be welcome. So I put my hats off to all these different organizations around here: Pontiac United, Oakland, Ford. I think I forgot the name of the organization, but they just did a forum the other day, I believe. And I think it was great participation. I think it was also another forum on Ormore Street on the south side at the Kappa House. From what I heard, that was a real good forum. As many times. And if another can be outside of this one coming up on Saturday, if there's another one that can be snuck in let that be. Let that be, because before you know it, this, voting is here and season over, and people, it's important. It's important. Also, I would like to thank. I would just like to thank my opportunity to be involved in this political season too. I've been able to help talk to some candidates personally. I know some. I basically know them all on a certain high and by, but a couple of them on a personal level, which is good. Not only that, being able to participate in the way that I'm able to participate, as far as live streaming or taping these types of things, because those types of things are important. Far people can't see it, they can always go back and hear those candidates. So I'm grateful and thankful for being able to be a part of that situation also. If you're watching, if you please hit the share button. I appreciate it if you do. So tonight, really, we're going to talk about, a couple of things. And you can bring, and you can stop in if you like to. Now, lately, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm on TikTok right now at the moment. I can't see my TikTok comments. So everybody that's on my TikTok feed, what's up? Much love, baby. I'm on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok at the moment. So, hey, TikTok got brother a little bit of change on TikTok now. So I gotta feed the beast. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go with what pays you. And also be looking out for Ghetto Smurf. That's just a shameless plug. I'm trying to have a little fun nowadays. So I brought back Ghetto Smurf. I haven't brought him to the Facebook world back. He was a guy that I brought to the forefront at COVID times. You know what I mean? And Ghetto Smurf wound up getting locked up, and he's back now. So he just got out, and sometimes he want to go live. You know what I'm saying? So what I'll do sometimes is bring Ghetto Smurf on and whatever. So with that being said, you guys, I want to talk about what's going on, and we all know R.I.P., rest in peace, and I don't care what nobody say. Rest in peace to my mans right here, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo, and Hulk, brother. And I know a lot of people got reservations about the Hulk Hogan situation, or feeling like Hulk Hogan was racist and this and this and that and that and this, okay? But I'd just like to say, these are two, really the one with Malcolm Jamal Warner, has really been the one with Malcolm Jamal Warner was really a shell shock because it was unexpected. And what I liked about Malcolm Jamal Warner is you never really heard anything about Malcolm. You never heard anything about, hey, what's going on, Deja? You never heard anything about Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was pretty much a family man. And, he looked like he really loved his daughters or his daughter, his family. And he was really into that. That was his lifestyle, and he looked like he took care of himself. He was active. He stayed in his craft. He stayed in his lane. He lived his life full of purpose. And, when something like this happened, like a death like that is usually always the hardest ones, a death where somebody just out the blue, you really didn't expect it, you know what I mean? And it happened so unexpectedly. And what I like about Malcolm Jamal Warner, he really stayed out the limelight, but he was always active. You know what I mean? He always was working. He was a working actor, but he stayed out of the limelight as far as negativity. And you only really saw him or heard of him when he was actually working. And there's some things that I learned about him from his passing that I really didn't even know that he was a poet. I know back in the day, he did go on Def Comedy Jam. I didn't know he was really into music like that. All I really, really knew him from is the Cosby Show. And if that's all it was, that's enough. He's cemented as far as what he was able to accomplish, the Cosby Show in the 80s. And it kind of really feel like, with something like that, is a person like that grows up with you. It feel like you grew up with them in a way. It feel like, wow, it's just crazy. It kind of just, it just take you back. So I just want to give my hats off to Malcolm Jamal Warner. I think he lived a life full of purpose. He paid attention to what he felt like. Well, he paid attention to what his life consisted of. We really never heard anything negative about him. I never heard anything negative, scandals or anything like that. I love that show, Malcolm and Eddie. That was a funny show. And I really liked what he brought to TV. And he was always like positive and upright. He never had any negative roles. You never heard or saw him any negative roles. He was always strong. You know, he just had an aura. He had a positive vibe about himself. You know, and he took care of himself from the look of it. He was a positive person as far as what he, had going on. Then we have Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, you know what I'm saying? The Hulkster passed, you know what I mean, today. And I'm not going to say that was less of a shock than the Malcolm Jamal Warner, but it was a shock because nobody was, not really expecting to hear that, you know what I mean? But, the Hulkster was up there in age. And, on the contrary, the Hulkster had some controversy in his life. And I guess that's probably what I will have talking points about tonight is that, on one hand, we have one fella that pretty much had no controversy, which is Malcolm Jamal Warner. And then on the other hand, we have another fella that had controversy and, an icon in his own right, Hulk Hogan, So this just, can you redeem yourself? Redemption. And I've seen a lot of things like on social media today and people was talking about Hulk Hogan and he's in hell or they making hell emojis and this and that and Hulk Hogan, blah, 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 and this and this. And this, I look at things like that and you have nowhere to put this guy. You have no heaven, you have no hell to put this guy. You don't know what type of amends that Hulk Hogan has made or Terry Bollea, which his name is, has made with the creator, his relationship with the creator. And, the stuff that I'm seeing is kind of like, wow, you know what I mean? Yeah, he did say some questionable things, for real. Not going to bat for him, but, I'm just saying, like, who hasn't? On the other hand, we have Malcolm Jamal Warner. We don't really heard or have seen anything that was really controversial out the way about him. And even yet with him, can we say that Malcolm Jamal Warner is better than Hulk Hogan or vice versa? We really can't. We all are what we allow other people to see of us. Because we know people that's in our family, we know people that's in our circle and around us that they act a certain way, but they not really good at all. I'm not saying that this is the case with Malcolm Jamal Warner or Hulk Hogan, but what I'm saying is that there's people that we know that are not good people, but they act like they're good people. They always have something to say about what's going on or what a person is doing or what people should be doing or X, Y, and Z, and people put them up on a pedestal, but they rotten. But they have a persona of that they're better or that, they can talk better. They dress better or they have more means. So you kind of put them in a means where I mean financial gain or so you look at them like they actually better or doing better. And in that case, that's a foolish way to be thinking or a foolish ideology or a foolish, outlook. Because I kind of, brought this up last week when I had Melanie Rutherford on inside the studio, as you see the backdrop over there, when she was on the show at the studio. And, we had a call, but from a young lady, which is a very nice young lady, April Forbes, and it was we were talking or the question came up about demeanor or decorum about a person. And I think decorum is a very important thing. How you speak and talk is a very important thing. It's very, you don't want your reputation to precede you to, if you have, but like I say, I'd rather deal with somebody that really kind of is rough around the edges, but is a real person, rather than deal with somebody, which I know a lot of these people. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, like over the last 4 to 5, 6 years of me doing a lot of work that I do, been able to be privy to see a little bit behind the door, I guess, a little bit. And everybody that feels like this person is a good person, they really not that good, So a lot of times we judge a person by what they say, what we heard them say, or how they say it, and this and this and that. And we say, oh, that's a great person, that's a good person, X, Y, and Z. But they really not that good, y'all. They really not that good. You seeing what they allowing you to see. You're just seeing what they allow you. You're just hearing what they allow you to hear. But you're not understanding that behind closed door, they're nasty people. And so we can't call out the judgment too much on Terry Bollea, which is Hulk Hogan, because we heard Hulk Hogan say some shit that wasn't right. We can't say we have no heaven or hell for Hulk Hogan. But what we can take from Hulk Hogan, what I take from Hulk Hogan, what I take from Hulk Hogan, I'm going to tell you what I take from both of these individuals. What I take from Hulk Hogan is that he went beyond and above his measure to be the greatest wrestler or in his profession, what he tried to be and become. He worked very hard and he climbed the ladder, and he took that industry to a whole nother plateau where people like The Rock can be able to Hulk Hogan was the first one doing movies. He opened the door for people like The Rock to become major multi-million-dollar or almost a billionaire at this point, the movie stars. Press the envelope and be something more. Like Hulk Hogan really broke and opened up doors. And it was a big part of my childhood in the 80s, the Saturday night main event. I remember when Hulk Hogan was at the Pontiac Silverdome. Right, not too far from me right now at this point, but not Pontiac Silverdome anymore. But and how all the kids, we got to school the next day after WrestleMania 3, and how Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, and how we all wanted to emulate. We all thought it was real, but we can't 100%. I seen a lot of things and memes and stuff like that about the guy, and he did say some stuff that wasn't about anything. You know what I'm saying? But as that part, his life is over. We have no place to put him. And I'm just, praying for his sake that he made amends, or, he's good with the maker, the creator of the universe, and, God allows him, because we as a human being shouldn't want any soul to be in damnation. We shouldn't want that, so I'm hoping, the best for him on his journey right now, wherever that may be. And then we have Malcolm Jamal Warner, like I say, who was, like the Cosby Show was, both of these characters are immortal. You know what I'm saying? Both of these characters are immortal in the way that they impacted pop culture in the time that they did, because the time that they did impact, the time that they had their biggest impact was in the 80s, in the mid 80s, early to mid 80s was they made their greatest impact. And think about it, right now to back then, what they did in the 80s solidified them 40 years later. Think about that. So in 1985, 86, 87, what these guys were able to do 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago, has solidified them throughout their life. What both of these guys did 40 years ago through what the Cosby Show and through the WWF has solidified them as legends, or icons in their respective fields. Think about that. Think about how important that is, and think about and apply that to your life. Um, how it is that you do whatever it is that you're doing now. Will it impact, or how will it impact people 40 years from now, or more or less your family or your surrounding your community? I can guarantee and say what I'm doing now is impacting. I'm opening the door, or somebody's watching me that I don't even know that is watching me, a youngster, or that's saying, hey, you know what, I can do this X, Y, and Z. So even if you don't even know anybody's watching you, they watching you, and you got to be willing to trailblaze and do something extraordinary. And both of these guys did, and they failed. And the iconic and the good thing about what they did is it happened 40 years ago. Both of these guys, regardless if you like Hulk Hogan or not, and I know we all love Malcolm Jamal Warner, but regardless what either one of them do in their personal life, how they whatever, just think about the impact that they made 40 years ago that lives on this day, and what it is that you're going to be doing, or what is it that you're doing that's going to last, or what is it that you're going to impact besides yapping your mouth and talking about stuff that don't matter. You know what I mean? So, I just think it's an important thing. It's important thing to really just be, you take out what you can from people. Sometimes you chew the meat out the bones. You know what I'm saying? So even if you don't really and particularly like a certain character or a person or a human being, there's always something that you can take and learn from. And we naive to think that just because, I don't, blah, 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 like them, there's nothing I can't learn from them. That's an idiotic person. That's a person of low IQ and basically of low self. Even the Bible tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Just because, the belief might not even be the same doesn't mean that it's nothing that you can't take from that person and apply. Say this back in the day, I said, I'm going to take what I can and I'm going to egg the rest. Man, meaning if I'm listening to somebody, they giving me some advice or something about their life I really admire, I'm going to take it and I'm going to egg the rest. And if I apply that part that I really admire or look at, maybe I can lift myself up or, X, Y, and Z. There's nothing about anybody that you can 100% like. And this is another thing. This is mainly the problem with our people, man. We don't have minds of our own. We are too worried about what the majority of quote unquote us think, besides not to have a mind of our own. I'm glad that I'm not afflicted with that problem, that I worry about what other people think or what other people want me to think. Be an individual. Have your own. If you like Hulk Hogan, you like him. If you don't, you don't. But people that's scared to say, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. I'm going to tell you, rest in peace, man. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? Like, people worried about, they jump on right away and want to criticize, but not really giving great advice about nothing. So you got to who's posting, you got to watch who's saying stuff. And just because somebody says something don't mean that you need to take it in and use it as gospel. Like I say, take the information that's given and and egg the rest. Use it that applies to your life. So I really appreciate both of these guys' life actually, because it has helped me. Honestly, I have set back many a days. I have set back many a days lately and watch both of these guys. Like I go back if I'm feeling a certain way or I'm feeling down. Believe me, I would put on the Cosby Show and I'll watch a clip. I'll watch something that take me back to better days, so to speak. Sometime, I'm gonna be honest with you, as of late, this is not even just this is not even far time ago. I like to watch the old WF, old clips, the Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, these guys, you know what I mean? So what I would do, if I'm feeling funny, I'm feeling down for that day, sometimes I will put on the old 1985, 1987 clips, 1988 of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man beefing, and watch the feud and watch the intros come in with Hulk Hogan coming on with "I'm the Real American" and you made him hawking up and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like those things help me, bruh. Like hearing the cry, and I'll be honest with you, I have and watched like I have watched situations where what's up, Dante? I have watched situations where I like to see people get congratulations. I love to see people get congratulations. I like to watch Hall of Fame speeches. I like to watch I like to watch jersey retirements. I like to watch those types of things because they inspire me. I'm like, yo, man, I want to be able to make sure I make an impact like that. I want to make sure I'll make an impact like that. I mean, I know I ain't gonna get my jersey retired or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I like to watch jersey retirements. I like to watch Hall of Fame speeches. I like to see when people get their I like to see when people get their accolades. I like to see the rounds of applause. I love to see those people get awards. Some people don't like that. But I love to see people get awards because the appreciation, not only that, but what they see, the reflection of their work or the reflection of their life work. You know what I'm saying? That it ain't nothing like seeing somebody get, something that they deserved over, a lifetime achievement or award. I love seeing those types of things because I'm like, man, maybe one day I get me my lifetime achievement award or whatever the case may be, and you don't do what you, and who does what they do to get an award, but it's nice to get one. Hey, who gonna turn down a great award or reward? Who's gonna turn that down? You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately at the end of our life, we live in a life to receive a reward, an eternal reward. You know what I'm saying? So let's not say, oh, I'm not doing what I do to receive an award or a reward. We're all living to receive something. That's why we make changes in our lives from the way that we was living. If it's bad, whoever quote unquote bad or good, however you see those two things, But, with that being said, you guys, I just really wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about, these two men's lives. You never know. You never know what and how things gonna happen. You never know. You just never know how things gonna happen. You never know when they're gonna happen. You never know why they're gonna happen. And that's, in my opinion, that's why just stay thankful, stay grateful, and just try to do the best that you can daily. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I'm really going to say is just forget what people have to say about your life. You live it. The things that you want to do, you do them. Fuck everybody that's out there saying you shouldn't do this and this, that. Fuck them. Because I'm for real. And I have to say fuck them. For real. Fuck them. I've had people say, don't, man, you shouldn't do this and do this and do that. Why? Why shouldn't I do it? You putting your fears on me why I shouldn't do it. Or you want me to stay in a position where I'm subservient or not up under you. People like you this is where people like you. This is them and this is you. That's where people like you. People do not like, hold on, let me go to the big screen. Let me go and break this. People like you, they're here, you're here. That's where people like you. They want you there. They don't want you to even come close to being even, and they damn sure don't want you to surpass them. That's where people really want you. That's where people really want you. They want you to be underneath and subservient. And you're going to continue to be like that if you don't know your passions and your ambitions and your quote unquote dreams. If you don't follow the things that you know that you need to do to fulfill your promise, fulfill your life's journey, then that's what the fuck, motherfuckers, that's where you're going to be. And if you're going to always procrastinate and say you want this and you want that, but you do not put into action or put into laws or put into, put those laws into action, because those laws can't work because they laws. If you don't go ahead and put into action and say, you know what, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, what are you going to expect from your, from your life or from whatever? So that's what it comes down to, y'all. You have to, at the end of the day, do what you're supposed to do, what you feel is the right thing for you to do. And that's just what it is. And that's what people like Hulk Hogan, and that's what people like Malcolm Jamal Warner did. They based on what it was that they felt like they needed and wanted to do. And of course, we all do some things that we don't really want to do, or, and things like that. But, for the most part, we're doing things. Let's see here. Did the internet go out? Okay. Hold on one second. My internet jank. But yeah. So that means at the end of the day, you have to really just live your life based on, because we don't know what the next gonna be. We all got some adversity, and we all got something that we're dealing with. But live your life. So that's why I say I want to give a salute out to the people that are throwing the forums. Y'all keep doing them. Listen to no one. Do what you want to do. It's your organization. You know what I mean? I think all of you are doing a great job. Pontiac United, like I say, Pontiac United is doing a great job. Oakland Ford has done a great job. I forgot is it MIP? Men in Pontiac, or if I'm not mistaken, I forgot that's the name. But they're doing a great job. Just put it on the forum. If there's another one coming up soon, do it. I think it's very important that people get the opportunity to hear and see these different people come and be able to break down what their platform is. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very, very important. And with that being said, y'all, I just wanted to come on for a little while. I'm about to be 40 minutes in the game. It's summertime is winding on down, y'all. So try to enjoy these days. I know we got a couple of days of thunderstorms coming, but check out the forum on this Saturday. I will be coming back live again, maybe tonight, Thursday. So maybe tomorrow, maybe, man, I don't know. But check out Kermit Williams will be be in the driver's seat this Saturday morning. So you guys check him out, and might be something about his candidacy that day. So he will be coming on, be in the driver's seat. Happy birthday to Regina Woodard, the queen of car loans. I know she's out having a good time at the Verner's Room downtown Pontiac. Happy birthday to you. And everybody that's out there, just try to do things that you want to do. Never wait on anybody to give you, permission to, to do the things that you want to do. Never wait on anybody to give you permission to go after the things that you want to accomplish. And quit being afraid of the man in the mirror. Because most of the cases why you don't succeed or why you don't is because you don't do it. You're waiting for, and you're doing what my father says, waiting on waiting. You're waiting for somebody to give you an opportunity. You're going to go take it. Create an opportunity. You can create your own opportunity. How you create your own opportunity is this. You do what you want to do. And once you start doing the things that you want to do, you're going to be recognized. And now you've done created an opportunity for yourself. How people going to know that you do something if you don't? So a lot of times we have to just create our own opportunity by going out and just doing it, even if it's for ourselves. And then we letting people know, we letting the world know, hey, I'm out here and I do X, Y, and Z. Hey, I'm out here and I do plumbing. Hey, I'm out here and now is even the time, what we're living in is that you can show people online what you're doing. You can be out here showing people like, hey, I'm a plumber. Hey, I know how to do mechanic work. And if you can get online you can do 10 videos of some quick little repairs. I guarantee you, by the time you do that 11th video, somebody's gonna be calling you and be like, "Hey man, do you know how to? Hey, my seat need to be taken out and this dent and blah blah blah." You have a client, but to show people and let people know what you do, or you don't even work on what it is that you do, you're not gonna create opportunity, especially if you want to be a entrepreneur person. You really gotta show people. You gotta do it on yourself first. You gotta show people what it is that you're doing, and this has to be. That's how it's gonna happen. Only way. I tell my son that. How you expect somebody to call you and you ain't even letting people know you do it. For real, for real. So that's one of the big reasons why I do come live. Is because I constantly want to let and remind people, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do. And if I don't let people know this is what I do, they're going to forget that somebody else is going to come. I got to constantly refresh. And I can do a better job at what I'm doing as far as letting people know, but nobody's going to promote you like you. So that's what I take from Hulk Hogan, what you're going to do, brother, and that's what I take from Malcolm Jamal Warner. Try your best to continue to do what it is that you love to do. And pretty much, both of those characters, when I say characters, both of those men portrayed their characters correctly on TV. One portrayed his character better off of TV, you know what I'm saying? But either way, they still men. And we got to let God sort it out, how they live their life. And just be careful who we putting in hell, y'all, because you can't be doing that stuff, in my opinion. But you do what you want to do, But I'm gonna continue to enjoy both of their legacies. You know what I mean? I'm gonna sit and enjoy both of their legacies, and enjoy their contribution that they made. With that being said, good people, you guys have a great night. TikTok people, I don't know if you was able to really see me tonight. I really don't know. Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm about to go on TikTok. This be a perfect time to check my TikTok account and see what the people see, and if there's anybody on TikTok. And let me say hi to the people on TikTok. Let me see here. Search myself up real quick. I just want to see what's happening. Boom. Yo, what's up, brother? Okay, the usual suspects. Thank you guys for popping in. Something going on with my TikTok. I'm gonna say that. Something is going on with TikTok. I'm on TikTok right now, and I'm looking at the comments. Miss Mary Kay, Miss T. Luke, and Nas. I appreciate y'all. Something is going on with my TikTok where it's not pushing out my algorithm or something. Something's happening with that. Sure what it is that's going on, but something going on with it. But I'll figure it out. But thank you guys who all are chimed in. And with that being said, y'all have a great good night. And one love. Keep God first, family second, and you third. And in that order, you should never be made last, because the last is always made first. I believe that, and that's how it is. Peace.